Deep in the soil, science of survival is a truth most gardeners have been lulled into forgetting. The crops that matter most in times of scarcity are rarely the ones we see on glossy seed packets. Some of the most resilient life-sustaining plants were once staples in gardens, then quietly disappeared from catalogs and collective memory, not because they stopped feeding people, but because market forces and agricultural conventions rewrote their story. One such plant, a humble grain that sustained entire civilizations, was once common in seed listings, a famine fallback for families, and now stands as one of the most powerful forgotten foods we can bring back into our gardens. This isn't just a history lesson, this is a wake-up call for gardeners facing climate stress, drought years, erratic weather, and the very real possibility of food insecurity. The plant we're talking about isn't exotic, dangerous, or some fringe wild herb foraged in forests. It's a crop, one that grows easily, tolerates poor soils, produces abundant seed, contains protein and calories, and was a staple for people long before industrial agriculture took over. It's amaranth, a genus of plants that historically fed people when traditional crops failed. Before European conquest, amaranth was a major staple crop in pre-Hispanic Mesoamerica. Some communities relied on it for a huge portion of their energy intake, on par with maize. It wasn't just a survival food, it was the food. But when colonial powers arrived, they didn't just conquer land and people. They reshaped diets and agriculture, suppressing native crops in favor of European staples. Amaranth cultivation was banned by the conquistadores, who saw it as too intertwined with indigenous culture and not commercially useful within their economic systems. Over time, this powerful crop faded from seed catalogs and gardens, remembered only as a weed in field margins. Why does this matter to you as a gardener today? Look around any neglected soil, cracked, weedy, ignored, and you'll find plants that refuse to die. These are the survivors. Long before GMOs and hybrids, communities around the world depended on plants like amaranth because they grow where others fail, produce abundant nutrients, and need almost nothing from you besides a patch of soil and sunlight. Modern seed catalogs have really narrowed what's considered acceptable to sell. Anything that doesn't fit a neat commercial profile, like fast-selling, patentable, consistent hybrids, is just more likely to be dropped or quietly removed. The video that inspired this article actually highlights exactly that pattern. A plant saved lives in famines, grew with minimal care, and yet was erased from seed listings not because it lacked value, but simply because it didn't fit the commercial model. Amaranth fits this story perfectly. Even though it's not technically a cereal like wheat or rice, it acts a lot like a grain and can produce yields that are honestly comparable to staple crops, which is pretty rare among so-called wild or under-cultivated plants. So, if this plant was once essential, why aren't we planting it now? Well, part of the reason is simple. We've been taught to see weeds as problems, not as potential food crops. Another part is the commercial seed industry's focus on patents and profit, which really sidelines open pollinated survival crops like amaranth. But here's the thing, everything you need to grow and benefit from this plant is still available, if you just understand how it grows. So, amaranth thrives with minimal inputs. It tolerates poor soils, drought, and, honestly, even neglect better than many vegetables you might spend a lot of time rototilling for. It doesn't demand heavy fertilizer, rows of drip irrigation, or any fancy trellises. For gardeners who are looking to boost resilience and self-reliance, it's really a perfect choice. You'll want to plant amaranth in early spring, right after the last frost or when the soil is nice and warm. Just scatter the seeds over some loose soil and lightly rake them in. They actually need light to germinate. Water just enough to settle the soil around the seeds, and then, well, let nature do the rest. This plant can grow tall, produce abundant seed heads, and even self-sow for future seasons, turning once barren corners of your garden into productive land. Go ahead and harvest when the seed heads dry and the seeds pop easily between your fingers. The seeds can be cooked like a grain, popped like quinoa, or even ground into flour, and don't forget, the leaves are also edible and nutritious, pretty similar to spinach. As climate change ups the stakes for gardeners everywhere, crops like amaranth are no longer just historical curiosities, they're practical insurance. This plant doesn't need perfect conditions, it doesn't require breeding for market appeal. All it needs is space, and a gardener willing to think beyond what's in glossy catalogs. The erasure of amaranth from mainstream seed lists wasn't about its nutritional value fading, it was about systems privileging profit over survival. Now the very skills that allowed humans to endure drought and famine might help us through our own uncertain future. By growing amaranth and other forgotten crops, you're not just planting food, you're reclaiming resilience, biodiversity, and garden independence. These plants are living reminders that nature's pantry is richer than what's in the spotlight. So, here's what I want you to do. Find amaranth seeds that are open-pollinated and suited for food use. Grow them this season. Observe how they handle heat, water stress, and poor soil. Taste the leaves and seeds. Treat this as a living experiment in survival gardening, not just a botanical curiosity. This isn't about nostalgia. It's about practical, real-world adaptation. History teaches us that when crops fail, it's the resilient plants that carry people through. Gardeners who plant for survival, not just aesthetics or tradition, are the ones shaping gardens that endure. Before we sign off, I've got to ask, what forgotten food crops do you want to rediscover in your garden? Drop it in the comments on the Soil Sage Chronicles page. And if you found this piece valuable and inspiring, don't forget to subscribe and share because real gardening wisdom grows when it's shared. Let's make resilience, not just beauty, the cornerstone of every garden.